I open TikTok or Instagram and the only thing I see is the same clones over and over and over within 1 minute. And there's somebody sniffing and saying, yeah, it's good. Or maybe even playing a clip of someone else watching it and being like, let's see. You already know they're gonna say, yeah, it's good. Let's talk about those. What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. I love short content, but it's really hard to cram it all into 1 minute. Let's talk about some of the hottest fragrances that are trending right now on TikTok and give you a little bit more context to what you can provide in 1 minute. So some of which include fragrances from Khandlaj, and it's the same people, the same prospects that are just coming out, the ones that are investing the most money back to back to back. There is an entire collection of gourmand fragrances that are phenomenal from my perfumes. I don't love all of them, but they're just photorealistic. And then there are a couple that are more so new, like they're actually going after different things. And what I really love, and I'm promoting also in the culture of Middle Eastern fragrances, are twists. You're working with perfumers now. Make something a bit more unique. Sure, it can remind you of, but give us elements that take it up a notch. And that's exactly what's happening nowadays. So moving on into one of the first ones that are getting a lot of traction. In fact, the other day, I hardly ever open social media, especially short platform, because it's doom scrolling. You just end up getting screwed. I love YouTube and YouTube videos because you're watching this with a purpose. I open YouTube to de-stress, to watch, to get in with the news. And that's kind of what this is. This is a news conversation between you and I. We're talking about what you guys are seeing basically and giving you a descriptive breakdown. I've tested them, I've worn them, and you can basically wear them through the experience or learn from this experience and just know about the fragrance. You don't necessarily have to buy them, but if you do decide to do so, you can find a lot of these on Shop AROMATIX. A lot of these are available on other sites right now, but with the move and stuff, it's been really hard to get some of these. So I'm not telling you where to get it from. Get it wherever it's cheapest, if it fits your bill. And like I said, you really don't have to get any of these. So starting off with the first fragrance, it's called Shiaka Snow. Shiaka, Khandlaj, they do a lot of coverage, social media coverage, and I think it kind of bites them in the ass sometimes. There is such a thing as doing too much. But what saves them is their quality. Because even then, objectively, when people get these, it's like, yeah, it's a W. Okay, cool. They're glazing for sure, but they're not wrong. And that's the case with this fragrance. It smells like Louis Vuitton's Meteor, but that fragrance, even in itself, you guys, is so basic. Louis Vuitton Meteor is a fresh, musky citrus, or mandarin, I should say, with a very classic scent profile that's powdery, fresh, musky, and peppery, or woody, if you will. And this is a great recreation of that. It's the only thing that exists right now. I think it's a very good addition to the Shiaka lineup. The Shadow, if I'm not mistaken, was the one prior to this. It smelled like Cobalt Extreme, plum, designer fragrance. This is more towards the niche territory. And if there's one advice I'd give for Khandlaj is to stick to the territory of like niche and add something, or, you know, go directly at it like you did with this one, but give us really, really high quality. And that's exactly what this one does. The reason why I think this is worth it, despite the fact that it is a simpler scent profile, I'm being transparent as I always have been, is that what are the alternatives, right? The only other alternative that I've always recommended was Azzaro Chrome Extreme. Fresh, blue, musky, it's not exactly the same, but the dry down is damn near the same. The only problem is it's like a 3-4 hour performing fragrance and it's ass in performance. Meteor lasts, but it smells like freshly wiped baby butt. A lot of guys love that. And if you do, Shiaka Shadow, or Shiaka Snow. Damn good for the price, especially when you're comparing it to what its counterpart is. $400 fragrance for 100 mLs, or sorry, $350 versus $50. So this one, it's a clone that is absolutely worth it. Moving on to the next one. This is called Sharaf Divine. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but this is, as of right now, the strongest Angel Share Paradis. Angel Share came and went, and we had the hype train, and it's gone. And then Killian dropped the Paradis, and then he unfollowed me because I probably cover a lot of dupes. But I mean, Killian, I'm sorry, bro. It's just it's the business, bro. Like, it is what it is. Like, this is the industry. My job is a reporter. If your job was a reporter, would you not report? No, I'm gonna report, and I love it. So, all due respects to Killian, because he does create and perfume a lot of great fragrances, but this is a damn good fragrance too. You could be respectful and have your differences, and that's fine. So this smells a lot like Angel Share, with the addition of the rose and the raspberry, a stronger addition. Now, the thing about, or understanding the composition of the Paradis, it's actually beautifully composed, and it has a couple of aspects to it that's really beautiful. So the way that the fragrance is it's long lasting, but it's also light and diffusive. Having that kind of combination is actually pretty expensive. It's expensive in the composition because it takes a lot more time to find the right molecules and balances to make a lighter fragrance last long and still project. And then it's also a combination of using more expensive materials and ingredients to achieve that, and also ending up with something that smells a bit more refined, more class. It's just because it doesn't seem normal, it's just like, what is that? It catches more attention. Now this scent profile, it smells very damn close. And believe it or not, it's in that realm, in the performance department, the whole diffusive and lighter for the Angel Share Paradis might actually be the con for most people, because they might perceive that as weak or nose blind, which a lot of people do go nose blind, but it lasts all day. Whereas this one, you can smell it the entire day. The only difference is that the composition is not as expensive and studied, and so you lose that diffusivity. That diffusivity, you guys, in itself is actually like refinement in perfumery. It's actually skill to make it long lasting, but also light and airy and not like jammy. Think of basically like a super fluffed up pillow versus a dense cotton composed pillow. This is the dense one, and that's the fluffy. The fluffy is usually more expensive. It's softer, it's lighter, it's more comfortable. Whereas this is just unapologetic. The thing is, for most people who wear perfumes, they don't give a flying shit about that cotton puff pillow. They want the fragrance, and you better give it to me in the cotton. And that's exactly what it does. It basically takes Angel Share Paradis. Long story short, all that talking was for Angel Share Paradis, but stronger. Simple that. Lasts, projects. If you like finesse and you want to really smell like the ketones, the aldehydes, or the diffusivity, go for the Paradis, but it's very expensive. This one, though, for most people, is going to be good enough. If not, better. And I've smelled a couple of the other ones, but nothing was really, Rayhaan did a decent take with Ragnar. Shout outs to them. They did a decent take, I'm not gonna lie, but this one it's really hard to compete with. It's better. Next one up is Riffs Rise. Rise is chestnut, incense, roast, and caramel leather. This is Stronger With You Parfum with the additional notes of toffee and leather. It's as if you took Strong With You leather and infused it with Strong With You Parfum. To be honest with you guys, I don't really care much for the leather notes anymore. I'm kind of sick of it. Maybe because there's a lot of it in Carnal Desire and I wore the shit out of that fragrance. But this smells so good. I wouldn't even put this in competition with other clones. I'd put this in competition with the fucking OG, bro. I honestly have to test this next to the OG. The OG just has history, though. The OG was a gift from Mr. Armani himself. May he rest in peace. And yeah, I mean, fragrance has value when it has history. So that'll forever be a top 10 for me. Stronger With You Parfum. But this fragrance is damn good. If you want the closest thing or one of the richest scent profiles at the price, this would be it. I mean, they're absolutely killing the game. I don't know if this is getting coverage yet, but if it's not, you know now. Rise is a 10 out of 10. This is a must-have, you guys. I did say a lot of these are worth it, but I didn't say it like a must-have. This is a must-have. All right, moving on. See, the Sharaf blend, or the whole Angel Share DNA, is just, it's like kind of beating with a bat. I respect what they're doing here because, you know, they're kind of giving you accessibility to it. But I was kind of like, it was harder to make the purchase of that one when it did come out. Moving on to the next one, kind of like Le Male Elixir and Le Male Elixir Absolute. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like the fatigue of Angel Share was still there, and then they dropped one that was just pretty close. Next one is called Safari Breeze by French Avenue. And one of the influencers, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, it just started getting a lot of hype. It's called... Where are you? It's called Tales of Zanzibar. I forgot it. I had to like really bend my back. It hurts. This actually gets pretty close to it. It's got like this guava or papaya. I think it's papaya, guava, tropical style of fruits. That's not your standard passion fruit, nor banana or anything like that. And it actually infuses it with this musky, clean aura. If you like those musky scent profiles that just smell like you're enveloped by a cloud of fragrance, then you're really going to enjoy this one. There's something sophisticated about it. Dinner dates, during the day, day dates, etc., where you just want to smell refined and posh. This is that, bro. It kind of also gives me vibes of like wearing all white linen and you're just walking around. You'd smell like this as well. But as it starts to dry down, the whole musky, woody style of scent profile also gives it the backbone and longevity to give you more than just a fresh going to the beach scent profile. Because most people will think white linen, it's weak ass performance, it's just a fresh fragrance. No, but this one actually has a backbone to really carry you on and give you certain longevity and performance. I honestly love the fact that I've been really trying to educate and learn about the perfumery. In fact, I'm signing up for the Grass Institute of Perfumery here in Dubai, taking the full course to... It's not that I don't already perfume or make fragrances, but to actually have some credibility in, paper format. Like I went to school, I have a medical degree and all that good stuff. And right now I might not be using it, but it's still a resource, right? And that's the point. It's a resource to learn based off of a standard that's agreed upon in society. That's the point. So there's purpose in everything, and there will be purpose in this class. So rather than just perfuming and saying, yeah, I do perfume, I say yes, and I'm also, certified by the Grass Institute of Perfumery. So I do plan on doing that. And I love to give you guys a little bit of more backstories to why does this one behave that way? Why is it that it does that? The composition, the weights, etc. And so not only am I giving you guys lists, I want to be able to give you guys understanding of why a certain fragrance behaves this way or that way, okay? I'm not perfect either. We're learning here together. Moving on to the next fragrance. This is called Falak by Nusk. And it reminds me of those eagle things, the toys, but please don't do this because it will fall off and then you'll end up with a broken fragrance. This smells like a powdery vanilla and maybe some other gourmand aspects. I'm going to be 100% real with you guys. I don't really care too much for this fragrance just because the realm of powdery vanillas and fragrance has kind of already come and gone. It is by no means a bad fragrance, but Maison Mataha, if I'm not mistaken, Escapade Gourmand, came and went. This is a little bit of a twist on that, and the bottle presentation and all that stuff makes it makes it worth it, and it still smells great. This would be a great gift, but for me personally, I'm not crazy about it. I smelled it, I was like, okay, it's good, and that's pretty much it, and I put it aside. Beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation, but always keeping it real, as always, you guys. For me, that fragrance is just, it's good. I wouldn't go out there and be like, you have to have this or anything like that. Is it worth it? Maybe. But for me, I would say not right now, to be honest. Quality is there if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a powdery fragrance that smells like, you can look it up, do your research on the Gourmand Escapade by Maison Mataha, if I'm not mistaken. If you enjoy that, then you will definitely like that. It smells very high quality. Moving on to the last fragrance on this list, it's called Rayhaan Black. I don't even know what it's called. But anyways, this fragrance reminds me of an infusion between a couple different fragrances because of what it is behind. It's got a very powdery opening that reminds me of iris. And then also the backbone DNA has this bubblegummy sweetness, maybe even some diffusive pear, and a base of this resinous vanilla and vetiver. This smells a lot like the new Dior Homme Parfum, the new formulation. And that in itself, made by MFK, who also made Ultramalt, smells like a newer take on the old Dior Homme Parfum. The old Dior Homme Parfum had leather, had oud. This new one kind of infuses elements of that, removing all of the best parts of it, unfortunately, and infusing it with Ultramalt. So when you get this, don't be surprised that it smells like Ultramalt, but it does smell pretty damn good. The best way to describe Dior Homme Parfum and this fragrance is kind of like an iris take, a better take on Ultramalt, a sexier take on Ultramalt. If you like Le Male de Parfum, you're gonna love this. It's better than Le Male de Parfum. Dior Homme Parfum and this one. This is really good. Now, as far as whether or not it's worth it, depending on the price, I think that this is a solid fragrance for up to 45 bucks. Up to 45 bucks, it's pretty good. Especially when comparing to a lot of clones that are doing niche DNAs and stuff like that, that's where the standards are, right? So respective to the price points, respective to the fragrance that it's kind of reminding me of, that's what I would say whether or not it's worth it. I personally love this scent profile, and I was a fan of the new recreation of it. It just smells a lot more polished, a lot more sexy, and just elevated version of something like Ultramalt. Imagine an infusion between aspects that are truer to Dior Homme Intense, the buttery iris and pear, meets the Ultramalt DNA, a more grown and sexy version. And that's pretty much it. Longevity for this, by the way, you guys, is anywhere from, I would say, 6 to 7 hours. It's great for dates. If you're going on a date, it's absolutely gonna get the job done and some. And the quality of this one is pretty good. As it starts to dry down, it kind of veers more towards the candied vibes and a little bit more of the vetiver. It doesn't necessarily keep too much of the powdery aspect, but neither does the original. It's not a one-to-one, but it's a really good take. My name is Neve. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow because there's an entire gourmand collection. I thought about picking and choosing, but I honestly want to make a dedicated video. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 12 fragrances, you guys. And I think right now, as a brand, this brand has the lead when it comes to gourmand fragrances. Forget the clones. These are OGs. These are originals made by perfumers. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video, and I'll see you then.